Hello and welcome to Jazz Tonight. I'm Michael Jacobi, executive producer of Jazz on the Plazz and host of Raising the Standards on KSCO Radio in Santa Cruz. We're entering our second week of our summer tribute to Chet Baker and West Coast Cool. And I'm delighted to welcome back an old friend who first appeared like Brigadoon out of the fog a couple of years ago, Tiffany Austin.
Oh, good.
Hello, my dear. How are you?
Great to see you.
I'm so glad
again.
I didn't wear a tutu today.
I know.
It would have just been very strange.
Yeah.
So good to see you.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I don't know. We have a tradition of whoever wows the crowd, we invite back the next year. Well, you wowed them a couple years ago, so we but we held off, and we're delighted that you're here.
Yeah, it's so great to be back,
It's
and
good.
it's just gorgeous here.
It is.
Yeah.
It's good to see you, and it's good to have you back in Los Gatos. We're gonna open the conversation actually with a video.
Okay.
You have a new CD out called Unbroken.
Yes.
It's getting rave reviews.
Getting a lot
I'm
of
delighted,
love.
and we're going to talk a little bit more about it. But I want to play a cut off of it. Talk us into this and tell me a little bit about the tune.
Yeah, so this song is kind of a traditional tune, and it's called Ain't No Grave Can Hold My Body Down. Now, the first version that I heard was by Johnny Cash, and I'm like in love with Johnny's voice and his soul and the grit that he has on his voice. So I just fell in love, and when I...
Is it an old gospel tune?
Yes, it's like a traditional, old tune. And so I pulled that out of the bag and put it on this album, because this album, is about a lot of things, but including, speaking about freedom and about resilience of, the African American diaspora. And so I just wanted to put all these messages of hope in one place, in one collection, for folks to get inspired and renewed.
All right. Let's hear it and join a little bit of Tiffany Austin.
1, 2, 3, 4. Ain't no grave can hold my body down. Ain't no grave can hold my body down. When I hear that trumpet sound, I'm gonna rise right out of the ground. 'Cause ain't no grave can hold my body down. Well, look way down the river, what you think I see? I see a band of devils, and they head right for me. But ain't no grave can hold my body down. Oh, ain't no grave can hold my body down. So ba 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 we ba the baby. So ba ba baby we be ba ba the way. Billy I baby ba da ba ba way. Some way but on the way. Ba ba baby ba the we are baby. Say kill my soul. Ain't no grave can hold my body down. No, ain't no grave can hold my body down. Ain't no grave can hold my body down. No, 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 no. I shall walk those streets of gold, 'cause ain't no weapon they could ever kill my soul. Ain't no grave can hold my body down. No, 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 no.
I love it. Beautiful piece of music, and you did Johnny Cash proud.
Oh, I'm
I
glad.
love it. Gospel music. Growing up, did you do a lot of gospel?
You know what? I sang a lot of different types of music. I did definitely.
But did you sing in the church? as a
Yeah,
child? Okay.
yeah, grew up with church music, and also my grandma played a lot of jazz and classic swing in the house. My mom had, and my dad had soul and pop, and my brother was a rapper.
Oh,
so
really?
I had all
Oh,
this.
interesting.
Yeah, this kind of melange, this gumbo of music around me all the time. So
At what age did you? And we've talked about this in the past, but at what age? I mean, you're aware of music, but at some point you go, yeah, maybe I could be a little bit more. I'm not saying it's an epiphany, but there's still a feeling that something's washing over you.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say like from a very young age, since I could talk, I always sang and put on little shows and annoyed the heck out of everybody around me. But like when it really hit me, I want to say when I got to probably high school.
Okay.
And, you know,
Did you a musical theater in high school?
I did, like, there was a jazz choir. I went to LA County High School for the Arts, and so there was a jazz choir. And then I started with a friend of mine, an R&B kind of group that folks could audition into. And so I always knew, you know, it just brought me so much joy and replenished my soul. So I kind of had to, you know, it always stuck with me, even despite all my attempts otherwise.
So tell me a little bit about the school in LA. Was
Yeah.
it a liberal arts high school, essentially?
Yeah, it's a performing arts high school, and so they had like a drama department, music department, dance, and visual arts. That's right. And so, yeah, it was just like one of the first times I was in this environment where the arts took the forefront in my education. And just, I had really incredible teachers that were teaching artists, performing. And so it really kind of opened the window in my mind that this is something that you could do for a living.
But were you interested in a career in the performing arts when you went into the school? I mean, was that your long term?
I don't even think I thought that deep. I was a high school student. Who thinks that deeply? Maybe there are folks who did, but you know, I just knew that I loved music. I knew that, you know, being in the milieu was, you know, just really cool. And so I thought it was like a super cool, you know, way to be in touch with yourself at the time. But I don't think I really hit upon wanting to do it for a living until actually a couple things happened. When I lived in Japan for a few years, you know, I actually went there for kind of a gap year between undergrad and law school. But I ended up, you know, saying, oh, I want to do something I actually enjoy.
But you didn't go there as a jazz singer?
No, I went there just teaching English.
Okay.
I thought a quick year, teaching English, get out of my element. But then
I've often said that if I have a year off, I'll go to Japan and teach Japanese how to speak English. That's really going to happen.
So, you know, that was kind of my first foray into singing for a living, because that's what I was doing full time after I kind of phased out of the teaching English. And then when I came back for law school, I finished up, and then I realized, like, oh my God, I'm miserable. And I felt like somebody died And it was.
And you went to law school at Cal.
Yep,
Is
I
it
went to
Bolt
Cal.
or Bold?
Yep, Bold Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And
So.
It's good to invest that kind of money and go,
Yeah.
I gotta be singing. What am I doing? I object.
Yeah, but I love it. I see, as badly as I talk about my legal education, it's all tongue-in-cheek because it was hard. It really kicked my butt.
Yeah.
But I learned so much just that I can apply to my running my own label, my business dealings in general, negotiations, and also I have some really, really great friends that came out of
What
it.
kind of law were you studying, and what was, while you were in law school, what were you thinking in terms of, I'm sure you said that a lot. What am I thinking? But what kind of law had you planned on getting?
Yeah, entertainment law.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Then it was great training for sure.
Yeah. And I initially thought, not only just to have a steady income, but I also wanted to advocate for artists at the time, because when I was living in Japan, I was getting contracts in Japanese that I couldn't read, and if I even could read them, I wouldn't have done. Yeah, so it didn't make a difference. Yeah. And I thought, I didn't really care for that power dynamic, Yeah.
That's interesting. I really want to talk about the new CD in detail, so we're going to take a break right now. And a big thank you to our sponsors of Jazz Tonight this year, the Willow Street family of restaurants, Willow Street here in Los Gatos, the Willow Street Pizza and Tap Room in Willow Glen, the Main Street stores, and I have a little video to show you about something that's happening at the new tap room. Be right back. Welcome back to Jazz Tonight with our chat with Tiffany Austin. Before we start talking again, I want to remind folks, I get so many people that ask, what can we do to help jazz on the Plazz? Own a big corporation, give us $1 million. It's really easy. But short of that, either come to the gala, which is coming up on July 16th, which is our big event of the year, with Shalea. Do you know Shalea?
I don't.
She's wonderful. Quincy Jones loves her, and that's certainly high praise. Or purchase one of our jazz cards. It's full of free offers. It costs you $100, and if you use all the offers, it's worth $700. So it's an absolute no-brainer, and certainly helps keep jazz alive. So please consider that. Speaking with Tiffany Austin, this week 2 of our tribute to Chet Baker. The new CD, how many CDs do you have?
2.
2?
Yes.
So your second CD.
Yes, 2 babies.
Your first one you recorded in Oakland?
Yes, I recorded at Bird and Egg Studios.
Right, okay.
Mixed at Fantasy Studios. And then the second one, Unbroken, was all recorded at
And who's
Fantasy.
on Unbroken with you?
Unbroken, just a super heavy lineup. Yeah. Cyrus Chestnut on piano, Rodney Whitaker on bass, Carl Allen on drums, and then we have 3 horns, Mitch Butler on trombone, Ashlyn Parker from the New Orleans Jazz Orchestra on trumpet, and then Teodros Avery on sax. So it was burning.
And speaking of trumpet, and certainly speaking of Chet, Gigi Taylor will be, I say this, folks, and this is my usual disclaimer, tonight he'll be with you, but by the time folks see this, you will be gone.
Yes.
And you'll be lost in the air somewhere. But Gigi's a wonderful player. He was with you last time.
Yeah, and a great vocalist as well. Now, one of the things that annoys me about him is he plays.
What is one of the things that
He's one of these multi-instrumentalists that makes things look easy.
He has way too much talent.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying.
Says the young woman from law school who's a jazz singer. There's a tune on Unbroken called Greenwood, which to me is a revelation. And I think that it's up there with A Change Is Gonna Come, Sam Cooke's tune. I think this is one of the great sets of lyrics, so particularly about the whole Black American experience, the whole American experience.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit how it came about.
Well, it was kind of on the heels of, I had been hearing so many stories about Black folks being killed with impunity. And, you know, it's so hard to feel either enraged or hopeless or helpless. And I wanted to put my energy somewhere. And so the most overwhelming feeling that I had was heartache. And so I was thinking about the feeling of unrequite, of, you know, loving a country that you don't feel loves you. And so I wrote basically this, if you listen to the lyrics, whatever happened to those golden dreams, you promised we'd all taste one day. Did they all die like unwatered amber waves of grain? I'm writing this love story, I mean, this like love letter, this unrequited love letter where the scales have fallen from my eyes. And so, yeah.
And what's the line about 3/5 of your love?
Don't give 3/5 of your love. Honor what you vowed before. So.
Well, it is absolutely wonderful. And I don't want to use the word wonderful. It's absolutely, if you're a jazz fan, you have a conscience, and it's provoking. It's certainly referring to streets that I've never walked, but also refers to streets that I have something to do with, and so that's what's really marvelous about the tune. And it's this, and it will sneak up on you. It's this up-tempo, kind of swinging tune, and then you know it's like, and I go, oh.
Well,
what did she say?
The other thing that inspired me was, you know, those 1920s tunes that are kind of chunk, and then you listen to them and it's like, darling, why'd you break my heart? And it's actually a sad song, but it's so swinging, you know, you want to dance your little flapper dress off. So, and the title Greenwood comes from, you know, the neighborhood of Greenwood, the Tulsa, Oklahoma neighborhood of Greenwood that, you know, basically went through a pogrom in the 1920s. And so I was looking and seeing how certain things change and some things don't change. So I wanted to kind of sit it in the 20s, you know. So that's why it kind of has that bounce.
And you reference Ferguson, and it's separated by years, but not by change. So.
From Mississippi, Watts, Oakland to Ferguson, we all done had to weep and cry the blues.
Oh, it's marvelous. Marvelous. Did the CD did it spin off that, or what was? Did you wrote most of it, right?
No, actually, it's kind of a collection. I like to think of it as a menagerie of my favorite things, favorite flavors. So the title Unbroken really, when I think about the through line that runs through the music, that you know, that runs through spirituals, ring shouts, blues, soul, jazz, hip hop. You know, all of that stuff, there's an unbroken spirit that runs through that. And so I'm collecting.
Just the arrangements change. And not enough, by the way. Talk to me about, did you write Greenwood?
I wrote Greenwood.
You wrote Greenwood, the lyrics. Oh, good, I'm glad to hear that.
There's a song, Blues Creole, about a great Creole accordion player and vocalist, Amadi Ardouin. And he has kind of a complicated story. King of Pleasure, which I'll let folks read about. And then Music's Gonna Meet Me There, which was about that moment in law school where I really realized how much I missed music.
You know, I think one of the many things that I find very interesting and very compelling about your work is you don't, when you do a standard, you do know your way around the Great American Songbook. You don't mail it in. I mean, you make a standard your own, and if you're doing your own, you personalize it, and that's a big thing, because there's so many people that'll take a standard, take the same chart, and do the same thing, and that's got to get a little old performing that way.
Yeah, I think there has to be balance between, you know, respecting the work and adding your voice to the work. But yeah, it can get kind of snoozy,
Yeah.
you know, if you just kind of,
That's good.
you know, somnambulating your way through standards.
So, you on a timeline for yourself? I mean, you know, 2 years ago you were here. Things
Yeah.
were going well. Now they're going even better. More notoriety, more attention.
Yeah.
Is impatience part of that?
Yeah, I think I've always been a very impatient person.
Well, you know, I mean, it's Paula West is a classic example, whom I love, and it's driving me crazy waiting. Can we get to the success part? Because admittedly, you know, you have the talent. I mean,
thank you.
absolutely have the talent, and it's just a matter. So much of this business is right place, right time, right person.
So the way I like to think about this is, you know, success is kind of a combination of a couple things. Quality plus relationship.
Yeah.
You can be the killingest guy in the basement and you don't know anybody and then you don't have the relationship to, you know, get on the label or get the tour. And also if, you know everybody, but you're non grata as far as your work, you know, then it's not going to work out. So you have to kind of have this kind of golden combo.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Success is within.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you're happy and you're doing what you want to do,
Yeah.
and you know, you can actually eat.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. That's,
I don't know.
What's the
I
smallest-
want to agree with you.
what's the smallest? What's the smallest crowd you've ever been in front of?
Oh,
Bad
man.
night. You ever performed
Bad
12
night.
people or something?
Yeah, yeah. Especially when I was like first starting
And they got
out.
a good show, is my guess.
Yeah. You know what? I got to tell the story, but it wasn't. I wasn't doing jazz at the time. I was doing like R&B, and just did this show in this like kind of warehousey. I think it was like a dog collar store. So it was like just something just so wrong and bad. And there was like 4 people in there. And man, it's like I was just so demoralized. It's like, but then, you know, transport forward like 5 years, and I kind of not that I want nobody in the audience, but I kind of enjoy like that really tight, intimate, you know, feel.
Well, we're talking about Feinstein's
Yeah.
in the city, which is that great feeling.
Yeah.
Or the Birdland in New York. I mean, those great clubs where you actually. I remember, because I'm a huge Sinatra file, and I remember my daughter went to see Britney Spears when she was young, and she said, we sat right near the screen. I went, no, that's not what it's about. You got to sit and look at somebody, and they look at you.
Yeah.
And that's the joy of jazz, and jazz in an up-close, personal way.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I mean, it is. It's very intimate, and I don't even want to distinguish between jazz and pop or other things or other styles. The music is supposed to be a very intimate experience. You can have an intimate experience with 10,000 people,
Sure.
but yeah, there has to be that kind of textural.
And I think what's
exchange.
interesting is both entities, the performer and the audience, knows when it's happening.
Yeah, yeah. You can't fake that.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
We just got a couple of minutes left.
Okay.
So what do you got coming up?
Coming up.
In the near future?
2 really exciting gigs.
Okay.
I'll be singing with the San Francisco Symphony on July 19th.
Very good. Now, have you
Yeah.
sung with the symphony before?
I have actually. I sang with them earlier. Was that? Yeah, last year I believe, and then. And then Oakland Symphony also.
Now, I know a lot of people have big band charts, but do you have symphony charts? I mean, what kind of tunes are you going to do with the symphony?
So they're celebrating 50 years since landing on the moon.
Okay.
So we're doing a moon medley.
You're going to do Fly Me to the Moon.
Come on,
you
that's
got
like
to.
number 1.
Moonlight Becomes You.
Let's see, Moon Dance.
Moon Dance, and the moon was yellow. Is it
Blue
what?
Moon.
Yeah, good.
And all that. So that's going to be really fun. And the last time I sang with the symphony, it was like sitting on a turquoise cloud. It was just gorgeous. So I'm like chomping at the bit to get to this gig. And then the second one that's coming up that I'm excited about is having an celebration.
Oh, really?
At SF Jazz in the Minor Auditorium on July 27th. So, of course, we're celebrating the great Ella Fitzgerald.
Which we did last year.
Oh, yeah.
Was that last year we did Ella? I think it was.
Last
And Ella is one of those people like the Gershwins.
Yeah.
Is you're always finding new stuff.
Oh.
You think, I mean, the Verve collection,
Yeah.
where she's got all the different composers. It's amazing that you run
Yeah.
across things you never heard.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting, you know. It's like, to me, it's like Tupac, you know. There's always a posthumous like release. So.
Folks want to
Yeah.
find out more. Can they buy Unbroken on your website?
Yep, it's just my name, TiffanyAustin.com.
Okay.
So yeah.
And if they buy a copy, that you'd sign it for them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. You bring it to the house.
Yeah,
You
just
buy 4 copies, I'm going to bring it to the house. Park out front, we'll do it. I am delighted that you're back, my friend.
Oh.
It's so good to have you here.
my pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank
Tiffany
you.
Austin. That's Jazz Tonight. Next week, we'll be chatting with the wonderful Curtis Stigers. He will be here with Full Spectrum Jazz, our house band, and it'll be a heck of a week and turn into a great season. And we're delighted. Until next time, I'm Jacobi. I'll see you soon.